Hello, hello, everyone. I wanted to go live today and wanted to welcome you all in. So, if you would, I'll wait on you all to get in and we will get started. It is so good to see everyone today. Yeah, yeah, righty. How is everybody doing today? I definitely want to come on and discuss a few things today. This is Black History Month. Most of you know that this is Black History Month. And we are talking about things related to Black history. That is what we're talking about. If you would like and share this video, post and let me know where you're from. Okay. I have people on this page that are from all over. And so I would love to know where you are watching from. Thank you so much. It's good to see everybody. All righty. Yeah, post, let me know where you're watching from. I would love to see that. And if you would like and share, that really helps us out when you actually like and share the video. I'm not going to say anything crazy. I am going to just simply talk about what Rush Limbaugh meant to me and a few things that I'm seeing online as it regards to the Black community and their response to Rush's death. I want to talk about that. And then I want to talk a little bit about abortion. I'm just going to hit those three things, and I'm not going to be on here very long. Um, Again, please post where you're from. Okay, I see someone from Birmingham. All right, Connecticut. That's good. Post and let me know where you are from. Kentucky, I see San Antonio. Wow. Dallas. Oh man, y'all are down there in the snow, in the ice. We definitely praying for you guys down there in Alabama and Texas in that area. Alabama, okay. I see that. Pennsylvania, all right. Sacramento, California, wow. Wisconsin, look at that. Delaware, I think I'm gonna have every state. St. Louis, look at that. Well, okay. Thank you all again. Just continue to post. Let me know where you're from. I'll go back and look at this later. And if you have any questions or anything, please feel free to ask those questions in the comment section. Now, I want to talk about Rush Limbaugh and what Rush Limbaugh meant to me, because there's a lot of stuff that's out there that's calling Rush Limbaugh a racist, calling him all type of names. It's crazy that a man can, pass away and have that many people hate him. And I realized that he was the first conservative um, talk show host, and so he was the first to get attacked and the first to be called names. And the great thing about Rush Limbaugh is that even though he, was on the radio for 30 years, and the left came at him, attacked him, and tried to cancel him, they never could. And the reason they never could cancel Rush is because Rush built his own platform. He didn't depend on the leftist media to build his platform. And so that's why it's very important that social media influencers like myself and other conservatives that's out there, it's important that we build our own platform and that we not allow ourselves to be bought out by these, big corporations and things that change our message. That's why I have so much respect for Candace Owens. Many people don't know, but Candace Owens was offered a lot of money to go on one of the major news networks. And when I talked to her, she told me that that was one of the hardest decisions that she had to make. But she realized that if she signed that contract, they would have changed her message and her voice possibly wouldn't be as big as it is today. And so that's one of the things I really respect about Rush. Rush was not a racist for the black community out there that's attacking Rush. He was not a racist. Many of you that know his show know that his right hand man, Bo, is actually a black man. So I mean, the whole notion that he is a racist is crazy. And I'm seeing a lot of this stuff online, going over his remarks and things that he said. And I want even my Caucasian friends out there that follow me and follow the Patrick perspective. I want you to understand something. I want you to understand that no matter what you do, these the black collective is what I call them. These people are always going to call you a racist. It don't matter how many times you tell them, what you've done to help a black person, or if you got black friends, or if you love a black pastor or anything like. No matter what you say to the black collective, and this is what critical race theory is actually teaching our kids in college and in school, is teaching them that you don't have to have a racist act to be racist. They are teaching that if you have a different skin color, or if you are in the majority, you are inherently racist. Now, and when you really think about that statement, that is the most racist statement that you can make. You're simply judging a whole population of people. You're judging them based on their skin color. That is what they call racism. And so it's crazy to see the stuff that's being said about Rush Limbaugh. I want to go on record saying that I respect the man. When I was a young, early conservative, all I could listen to was black radio, and that's all I heard. And the only reason I know about Rush Limbaugh is because black radio would always talk about him and call him a racist. So I decided I was actually going to go and look him up and listen to him. And so I listened to him, and I found out that most of the stuff that he was saying is actually true. And so that was something that really stuck with me, just because he described the behavior of black people like Jesse Jackson and black people like Barack Obama. A description is not an insult. If he is describing the true behavior of a black person, that does not make him a racist. That makes him a truth teller. Now, the problem with the black collective is that when you describe their behavior and they don't agree with it, or they don't like your description, they call you a racist. All right. But that's all Rush did. It was a lot of things, that Rush said. They say he attacked Obama because he called him a half African. That's actually more true than black people calling him half black, because technically his father was African, his mother was American. That makes him a half African. But the black collective, again, that's attacking Obama. You're a racist. Rush Limbaugh was simply telling the truth. Okay. And so please, do not try to absolve yourself of being called a racist by the black collective. Because of critical race theory and the education they have, it doesn't matter what you do, you will be called a racist, just like Rush Limbaugh. Once you get past that stage, you realize that you take the power away from them, because what has happened, and Booker T. Washington said this, there is a group of people out there that have made it their business to keep racism alive, because that's how they get their organizations funded. That's how they make money. Al Sharpton has made a living off of shaking down people by calling them a racist, or calling a company a racist. This is how the Urban League makes their money. They go and they get these companies to give them thousands of dollars um, in the name of diversity, in the name of, saying that they're supporting a black organization. And what happens with a lot of these funds in the black community is that they never reach the people. They only reach these organizations that have made it their business and a living off of shaking down corporate America and companies. All right. It never reaches the black community. Go and look up how much money the Urban League, and I used to work for the Urban League, go look at how much money the Urban League has made over the years, and then trace and see how it has directly impacted the black community. There are no outcomes. There are no, there is no real impact. Okay. So, and I know that for a fact. I worked for the Urban League. Okay. They got rid of me because they found out I was a Republican. And the CEO actually told me that. He said, had I known you were a Republican, I wouldn't have hired you. And so this is what's going on. But I want to say again on record, I I love Rush Limbaugh. I'm praying for his family. He was a legend in my eyes. I want to thank him because he was the first person that I heard actually think out loud. And he said a lot of things that people were thinking, not just about the black community. He talked about the gay community. He dealt with politicians on both sides, both Republicans and Democrats, rhinos, all of them. I really respect him because he was able to think out loud on the air. And then there were some things where he realized that, okay, he may have offended some people and he would come back and apologize. But I respected that about Rush. I respected he inspired me to speak out. If it was not for Rush Limbaugh, I would not be where I am right now speaking to you from my own platform called the Patrick Perspective. He showed me that you can have a perspective and it can be different and you can be on air and you can say what your perspective is. That is the beauty of free speech. Even though I'm being censored like crazy online, I will never stop fighting because I saw Rush fight for 30 years and he never backed down and they were never able to cancel him. And so, I'm aspiring to be the next Rush Limbaugh. I want to be. I will never be able to fill his shoes. Nobody will be able to fill his shoes. But because he died and he showed us how to do it, we all will continue fighting on in his name. So as Rush goes into the ground, just know thousands, if not hundreds and millions of us are going to raise our voices. And that's how we're going to save America. So I wanted to start out by saying that, and I want to show you some of the things that are out there that are being said by Rush Limbaugh. And it's very ironic that they're using this meme that's going around. This is one of the memes here that I found. And this is the Black Collective, as I call them. This is their way of celebrating the death of Rush Limbaugh. It says, when you heard Rush Limbaugh died during Black History Month, that is something for them to celebrate that he died during Black History Month. And so this is what we're dealing with, y'all. Isn't that crazy? This actually reveals their true heart, the left's true heart. It reveals that these people that were upset about Trump tweets, they were upset about Trump tweets saying, oh, he tweets mean things. But here they are celebrating the death of a legend, of a conservative legend. It shows you that it's all a farce. It's all fake. They're doing all this stuff, virtue signaling. It's not real. And so that's just one of the things that I saw on Twitter and that's being passed around with people celebrating his death. But like I said, it exposes them for who they are. All right. When Ruth Bader Ginsburg died, even though she was on the left, I never mocked her dying. It was a great day for the Supreme Court because we were able to get a Supreme Conservative justice on the bench. But it wasn't a time to mock her death because the truth of the matter is when you read the Bible, it talks about how God does not relish or he does not enjoy the death of the wicked. Now, they may be wicked people that die, but he doesn't enjoy their death because if you think about it, they're going to die and they're going to hell. Many of these wicked people. The blessing is we know that Rush knew God. We knew that Rush knew Jesus Christ. And it's sad. It's even pastors out here that's and ministers of the gospel, all of them from the Black collective, they are attacking Rush, in his death because they felt like he was a man of hate. And if you ever met Rush, you know that Rush didn't have a bone or ounce of hate in his body. So again, I just want to honor Rush on this show today, and I want to thank him for his contribution and know that we will carry his mantle forward in the conservative movement. Um, Now, another thing that I wanted to talk about today, and I'm not going to take a whole bunch of time, but I want my viewers to know what's out there. This is Black History Month, and I use this month to talk about Black Lives Matter. I use this month to talk about Black issues. For some reason, I can talk about it this month, and I don't get a whole bunch of hate and attacks because it's Black History Month. You're supposed to talk about the past and the history. And so there is for those of you that don't know, there is a documentary that is online. No, it's not online. It's actually been shown on TV. There's a documentary on TV that all of the people from the Black collective are watching. The Black pastors, all of the members of the sororities and fraternities and all of that stuff. You may see them on Twitter talking about this, the Black church, the Black church, the Black church. It's actually a documentary on the Black church. Now, those of you that know me know that I have a very different perspective on these things. I don't understand uh, why we call a church by the name of a color. I don't understand that. And I've been attacked online saying, what is a Black church? Because if I attend a church where the majority of the ethnicity is Caucasian, I don't hear them running around calling their church the white church. I don't hear them running around calling their church, their schools, white schools. I don't hear Caucasians label their institution by quote unquote their ethnicity or the color of their skin. Now, there may be some out there, you may find one out there, and I see, people that call themselves like the Greek Orthodox Church or things like that. Now, that's talking about language. Those are churches that are identifying what language the service or the worship service will be in. I do not understand where we get this term, the Black church. Now, they've made, again, a whole documentary, and it's called This Is Our Story, This Is Our Song. It's called The Black Church, and it's hosted by Henry Louis Gates Jr. Now, I thought the church was about the suffering of Jesus Christ. Is it just me? Is it just me that thought that when we joined the church, that it wasn't necessarily about our suffering, but it was about what the suffering Jesus went through to save us from our own sins? All right, that's what I thought. So, I mean, maybe it's a person out there, a Black person out there that maybe can explain this to me. And some people have tried to explain. They was like, well, in Jim Crow South, it was laws that, Blacks had to be separated from the whites. I was like, well, all the signs I saw said colored and whites. And I understand those Jim Crow laws. So why don't we call the church the colored church? We didn't start calling African American Black until the 60s, until Martin Luther King had died and the Black Panther Party started to rise. That's when, and James Brown started saying, I'm Black and I'm proud. That's when you see the rise of, people calling themselves Black. And if those of you that follow me, you know what I believe. You know that I believe that there is no such thing as white. There is no such thing as Black. I'm using these terms because people identify as these things. But as you know, what my theology is and what my belief from the Bible is, we all come from the brown dirt. You're brown. You're a lighter shade of brown than I am. I am a darker shade of brown, and there are people that's darker shade of brown than me. I believe we all came from the brown dirt, and there's one race. I believe, and as I've told you before, my definition of racism is actually you are a racist if you believe that God created multiple races. If you believe God created multiple races of people and not just the one human race, then you're a racist. That's my thoughts. That's my perspective. That's why my show is called The Patrick Perspective, because there is no way for you to be a racist or there be a such thing as racism if there is no other race. If you believe that there's one race, what we're dealing with is hate. Okay? People hating other people, humans hating other humans. Now, if you hate a person's culture, that's called culturism. Not racism, culturism. And guess what? It is okay for you to dislike another person's culture. That's perfectly fine. It's all right to not like a culture. We have that freedom. But this whole black church, white church, again, I've never heard anyone call their church a white church. Never heard of a white school. Never heard of a white-owned business. We do black-owned. We do black, 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 black. And you know my thoughts on that. The definition of black is the absence of light. The definition of white is pure. We are neither. Nobody in this earth is pure. And because you have dark skin does not mean you have the absence of light. So why are we walking around here calling ourselves black? Why are we walking around here calling ourselves white? Satan is using that to keep us fighting each other. Okay? And until we realize that we gotta get rid of the language and the terminology. You call me Patrick, I call you Jennifer, I call you Shantae, I call you Boniqua. That's who you are. I'm Patrick, and we come from the human race. We have different cultures, different backgrounds, different upbringings, but we're still one race. My heart, my lungs will work in your body, no matter what color you are. So this whole black church thing is, and I don't understand because of these pastors are around here talking about the black church and, oh, we suffered and, oh, we went through this. And no, the church is about the suffering of Christ. Your job as a pastor, as a minister, is to preach the gospel of Jesus Christ, to preach the cross of Jesus Christ, not the cross of black people. I'm going to say that again. As a Christian, as a Christian pastor, it is your job to preach the suffering of Jesus Christ and the cross, the burial, the death, and the resurrection of Jesus Christ. Not being an activist for the suffering of black people. Because Jesus said if he overcame the world, then we as Christians can overcome the world too. If Jesus can be delivered, then he can deliver us. I don't understand this. So, and we sing that song, we shall overcome. When? Do we sing that for 10 generations? Saying we shall overcome? When I read in scripture, it says that we have overcome by the blood of Jesus Christ. So again, this Black History Month, I'm coming to you with straight truth, Rush Limbaugh style. Okay? This whole blackness stuff, black supremacy and white supremacy is wrong. There it is. Your black supremacy is wrong. Their white supremacy is wrong. Watch this. White power is wrong. Guess what? Black power is wrong. It doesn't help us at all. Watch this. White pride is wrong. Look at this. Black pride is wrong. Gay pride is wrong. What is that? All of that, all of those things are human constructs. Okay? Human constructs. Where you say, well, so I can't be proud of America? I can't be proud of America. No, the Bible says that God establishes nations. God established the nations. He established the boundaries. Okay? This whole thing of us being black is nowhere in scripture. We're dirt. You want to call yourself something? Call yourself dirt. And that makes you the same as the next man to you, because that's where we're all going back to. So again, I'm calling on pastors to get rid of this whole black church notion. All right. And going through, oh, well, we suffered. We've been through, hell and high water. And, we've been through slavery. We've been through. How long are we going to keep rehashing this stuff? How long are we going to keep rehashing slavery? The truth of the matter is, there were, let's go back to the beginning of slavery. Europeans could not buy slaves if they were not for sale. I'm going to have to switch to the other camera and say that again. Europeans could not buy slaves if they were not for sale. So now the question is, who put slaves up for sale? Africans. Many of you know I've been to Africa. I stayed in Africa for 30 days, almost 30 days, almost a month I was in Africa. I heard the real story from real Africans. And it's not what I was told in the history books in America and what we saw on the show Roots. Now, let me say this to Caucasians that's watching me. A lot of, I would say, between the ages of 30 and 50 years old, their history of slavery comes from a movie called Roots. Not a lot of African American history was taught in schools. You had some classes, but it was mostly an elective class. It wasn't required. So majority of black people, and this is where it all, and I may even just go through that movie on a show and break it down and show you the lies, because that's where majority of, I would say, 30 to 50-year-old people, the people out there that's marching and leading these marches, leading these civic groups and things of that nature, they get their history from the movie and the book Roots, Kuta Kinte, and where in the movie it shows white men coming off of the boat onto the shore into the villages and hunting down Africans. That's what they show in the movie. They go hunt them down, chase them down, bring them back to the shore, throw them on the boat, and beat them all the way here. That is not what happened. That is not what happened. And the 1619 Project is putting stuff out there like that. But what happened, and this is what I heard from Africans that was there and historians that was there telling me the story, that the white man never had to get off the boat at all. All what happened was African chiefs, when you go and study history, African chiefs went into their own villages, told families that they were using their young men to send them off to go and work, and they would be coming back. The lie from the African chief said they would go off to work and they would come back. And he knew that he was selling this person or selling this young man as a slave forever. Okay, so he went and spread that out in the villages. So the young men came in droves because they thought they were going somewhere and that they were coming back, which was a total lie. Now, let me say this again. I am not condoning the brutalization of slaves. I am saying that slavery wasn't uniquely American. The Europeans and the Americans, we got it from other countries because this is how other countries was building their nation. America was the biggest nation of its size to eradicate slavery because we realized that, man, we can't go forward like this. Our Constitution doesn't allow this. There were founding fathers like Alexander Hamilton and things that fought against the people having slaves. That's where the abolitionist movement came from. They was like, no, we can't say that we're equal and we have what does it say? All are equal and freedom to all. We can't say these things in our Constitution and in our Pledge of Allegiance, and we got slaves. And Americans fought against that. Mostly Republicans. It was all Republicans. Okay? So, and people bring up, well, Ulysses S. Grant had a slave. Well, guess how he got the slave? He married a woman whose father was a Democrat, and she inherited the slave because her father died. So his wife inherited a slave from a Democrat. And then guess what Ulysses S. Grant did? He freed the slaves because the Republican Party was founded on one principle and one principle only. That is to abolish slavery. Go fact check me. Somebody fact check me. Abolish slavery was what the Republican Party stood for and how they built their platform. Abraham Lincoln was the first Republican president, and the only way he became president is that he had to support the abolitionist movement, and that's how he became the president. The abolitionists supported him. And then after he became president, the abolitionists had to convince him that he had a duty to free the slaves. Frederick Douglass, who they don't teach us about when we're young, coming up in Black History Month. We see his picture, but they never tell us that he was a Republican and he was an abolitionist. I learned that when in my 20s. That's what's happening. And so this whole slavery thing, at some point, and this happened in the Bible, y'all go read the story of Moses delivering the people, the children of Israel, out of slavery. Everybody that was over 20, all they talked about was Egypt and slavery. Did you not know that everybody over 20 that talked about Egypt and slavery did not make it to the promise? Think about that. The same thing is happening in the Black community and the Black collective. They just look back at Egypt, not realizing that God has a promise for them right here in America. They keep looking back to Egypt and slavery and what happened to me and the suffering that we went through, never looking forward to the promise that's right before them and their children. And then you got the Democrat Party that's using that's using the past that is actually their history. That's the crazy thing. And this is, if you go to the Democrat website, democrats.org, if you go to their website right now and go to their About section and go to and read the first sentence of the About section, it is a complete lie. And it says, for the last 200 years, we have been supporting civil rights. That is a lie from the pit of hell. The Democrats oppose civil rights at every turn. The Republicans drafted the first civil rights bill of 1957. And then you had Democrats in the Senate filibustering the bill. So they're using this pain of the past to get votes, to keep the Black collective and the Black community angry and mad at people that had nothing to do with slavery and what happened to them. Isn't that crazy? That's crazy. And so, this whole Black church stuff, I'm telling you, it is idolatry. It is idolatry in the highest form, because they're putting their sufferings as a human over the sufferings of Jesus Christ. Jesus said he came to set the captives free. Jesus said that we must forgive our brothers. If we don't forgive our brothers, then he can't forgive us. So what's happening is a whole community is walking in unforgiveness and wondering why their children are being slaughtered in the streets, and which brings me to my last point, and why their children are being slaughtered in the womb. Let me show you something. This is how bad and depraved it has gotten. I'm gonna spend my last years on earth, my next however long God gives me, I'm gonna spend it exposing this stuff. These videos that I make is more for my children and my grandchildren and great-grandchildren than it is for you. They'll be able to go back and look at this and say, my great-great-granddaddy was trying to warn us. Look at this. Look at what I found on Twitter. Look at this. This shows you how depraved the black community has become. It says Biden giving $3,600 per kid. I'm going to the abortion clinic. I need my son back. I need my son back from the abortion clinic. This is the value that we're putting on a black life. See, we say this phrase, Black Lives Matter. They say this phrase, that Black Lives Matter. Here it is. This girl is saying, shoot, if I would have known Biden was giving me $3,600, I wouldn't have killed my child. Now you tell me how that's saying Black Lives Matter. That's sad, and it's also sick. It's sad and it's sick. And I'm going to talk about it because this is Black History Month. And it's okay to talk about black issues during Black History Month. So please like and share this video. Please don't forget, like and share it so people can hear it, and people may get upset. They may get upset because I have my Trump 2020 hat on, but I felt like wearing it today because I want to make America great again. And I want to celebrate Rush Limbaugh's life and speaking the truth to power. And that's what I'm doing right now. Black people are 13% of the population, but account for 40% of all abortions. So black mothers are killing their children in the womb at a higher rate than the quote unquote white women. We're only 13% of the population. And yes, Biden may be pushing, $3,600 a child. But you don't put $3,600 as a value on the life of your child. What does that say? You want to talk about racism and suffering? We've killed over half of the black population have been slaughtered in the womb. The preachers are not talking about this. The black collective is not talking about this. The black elites. Yes, there is a black elites, the gatekeepers, those that are the fraternities and the sororities. They want to talk about all these other black issues, but they don't talk about the black issue that impacts us the most. And that is killing, quote unquote, black babies in the womb. It is an atrocity. And as long as I'm living, I'm going to stand against it. I'm going to speak up about it. I'm going to challenge black people. I'm going to challenge corporate America that we need to be the generation to abolish slavery. I can care less about having a black president or a black vice president when there are black babies being slaughtered in the womb, and both the black president and the black vice president supports it. as healthcare, as women's rights? What about the woman in the womb? Does she have rights? The black little girl in the womb, does she have rights? This is totally demonic. And I'm exposing it. Again, look at this tweet and look at how sick this is. Biden giving $3,600 per kid. I'm going to the abortion clinic. I need my son back. That is totally demonic. I cannot believe somebody would even put that on a social platform. But this is what we're dealing with. Okay? They put stuff like that on, but then they're mad at Rush Limbaugh, or they're mad at Trump, or they're mad at conservatives that call them out on this. Listen, we have to raise our voices. All right? Rush can't carry it for us now. All of us, all of you that's watching me has to become a Rush Limbaugh in some kind of way, where we stand up for the truth and we speak truth to power. I am using my platform, the Patrick Perspective will be a platform. I'm going to do this as much as I can. I may even have to go to AM radio like Rush Limbaugh. I don't care. Somebody has to get out there and we have to tell the truth. I challenge anyone that listened to anything I said today. I challenge you to fact check me. Go research. Fact check me. And if I'm lying, if you can pull up some proof and prove that I'm lying, I'll come on here and say it. But I'm telling you, I am going to use my platform to spread the truth. Today, again, yesterday, Rush Limbaugh died. Today, I am going to do everything in my power to be the man, or even half the man that Rush Limbaugh was, to stand up against the left, to stand for truth, and to fight back for this nation. Now, the difference is I'm a trained minister. I am trained in the scriptures. All right. I went to seminary. I am going to bring the Bible out and let you know what the Bible says about the issues. That is my ultimate goal, is for everyone that's watching me to get to heaven. That's my ultimate goal. But then I have other sub goals, and that is to draw you out of this idolatry called black and white. That is going to be my goal. So, thank y'all for listening to me today. Oh man, 45 minutes. I did not plan on being on here for 45 minutes. Oh my gosh. Thank y'all for listening to me today. Please share this video. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments, and I'm going to try to address them this month, especially when it comes to black culture, black community. Again, this show is going to be about faith, politics, and culture. That's how I think. Those are my passions: faith, politics, and culture. I'm going to be discussed today would be a cultural and a faith lesson. All right. That's what I'm going to be discussing on this show. Please like and share this video. Go and like the Patrick Perspective. I'm going to be putting some shows over there as well, and continue. And those of you that, I meant to say this because Rush used to say this a lot. In order for this message to continue to go forth, I have to have sponsors. I have to have people that support me. All right. In the link, after you get done watching this, there's a link to my PayPal where I ask everyone that's watching me to do something. All right. If you can't give $5 or $10 or whatever, if you can't do that, that's fine. My goal is to hire people so this platform becomes bigger and bigger and bigger. And I only can do that. That's one thing Rush taught me, is that he loved his audience, and he realized that it was his audience that made him. You are my audience. You are what make me. So as you give, every single thing that you see today, is those of you that have given before, the mic that I have, my backdrop, my lights, everything, my whole rig was paid for by viewers, you. And I'm able to get my message out further and have further reach the more you give. So I ask for you to do something. I don't care what it is, just something. There's millionaires out there that needs to be supporting other voices like me, other conservatives. There are people out there that you have businesses. You can't speak up, but guess what? We can speak up for you. we can be your voice. I'm asking everybody to do something. If it's not given to me, give to another. Go to Candace Owens' page. Go to Charlie Kirk's page. Go to Brandon Tatum's page. Go to somebody's page and help them lift their voice to where it reaches the young people. Because as young people start to hear this, they will have ammunition to fight against the left and all these institutions. So again, thank you so much for supporting me. Thank you so much for listening. If you learned something and it's brought value to you, please look at the link above and give. If you're watching this on YouTube, like and subscribe. Hit that button. Hit that button. That way you will get a notification every time I upload a video. Thank you all so much for watching.